Happy New Year, everyone. It's Jamie from Flame Bearers. Instead of producing a new interview this week, we wanted to take a moment to stop and reflect on some of our favorite moments from 2024. We've had a lot of really incredible conversations. We want to take the highlights of 2024, some of our favorite moments and conversations with athletes, and bring them to you. Let's jump in.
Hi, my name is Kokona Hiraki. I'm from Japan, Hokkaido. I'm skateboarder.
Well, the reason why I got really super into skateboarding, I think, is because, there are so many tricks for skateboarding. It's endless. So once you master one trick, then there's a new trick that I can try, and it just keeps on going and evolving. So that's what I think is super fun. And also initially when I wasn't very athletic to begin with. So a lot of sports I wasn't really good at. But skateboarding, I somehow got up to it relatively fast. So in regards to what I want people to know about skateboarding is that it's just really fun to do so on. People want everyone to give it a try. And also there's no age limit, so a little girl or can be skating with someone who's 40 years old, 30 years older than them. And also another thing I want people to know about skateboarding is that there's just different aspects for skateboarding. There's, the contest scene where you see the Olympics and X Games. But on the other side, there's also a filmmaker side as well, more artistic factor to it. So I want people to, watch those skate videos and know that there's a skate world like that as well, not just a contest.
Hi, I'm Gia Trevisan. I run the 400 4x4 for Italy. And I've been doing athletics/track and field for about 10 years now.
Incredible. Tell us, how did you get into track and field in the beginning?
So I initially started as a soccer player in high school, and my goal was to play in college. And like every teenage soccer player, I had dreams of playing for the U.S. women's national team. But then I tore my ACL, and my mom, she was really big on, okay, well, look, you've always been really fast. Why not just stick to track? Because I was doing track at the time, but really just to get in shape for soccer. So I was like, all right, I'll do track, see where this goes. And now I ended up here.
How did you choose your specialty in track?
So in high school, I ran the 100 and the 200. And when I got to the university level, when I got to the university level, I wasn't running fast enough to compete in the 100. And so it kind of was like, I did a 4x4 one time and they were like, you're a 400 meter runner. And I would not pick it. I don't love the 400. It's probably the worst race that you can do. But I'm doing it, and it's always better when it's over. So
the 400 meter, when we have to do those tests, I don't know how you do it, but kudos to you.
I am Farida Osman. I am 29 years old. I am a professional swimmer and currently training to compete at my 4th Olympics in Paris 2024. Accepting the fact that I need help, coping with expectations and pressure. And I think literally just at a very young age, I always had this pressure of performing. Because like I said, I literally just started performing well as I was young. So people just expected that all the time, but that's just not the case. It's just not how it works. And I personally put pressure on myself too, because I want to please them. I want to meet their expectations, but that just gets very heavy. And I think I want to say 2019 is when I realized I can't, obviously you have your support system, you have your family and your friends that you talk to, but I think 2019 is when I realized no, it needs to be more than that. And I need to talk to a sports psychologist. And this is when I started really working with a sports psychologist just to deal and have tools to deal with the expectation and pressure, because it does get a lot. And I feel if you're not able to cope with that, it could literally be detrimental to your career. So I think for me, like obviously rest and like recovery and also like having fun outside of swimming. Like I need to be happy outside of swimming.
I am in the Taki managing Kwame, so I do tricycling. I'm in a French team, I do sprint. And hold on. I have a lot of pressure, so I love to do some photography. So when I have some free time, I do in the quarter and I take some photos, videos. I do, for my own time, I do some videos on my YouTube channel to share my quotidien.
How do you juggle all of that? That is so much.
For me, it's really easy because I need to do all this stuff to be okay. I cannot be focused on just one thing. I have to do many stuff to be okay in my head. So it's like easy. I go to training, I train, and after training, I do what I like. I do something to have some extra money because it's important too. Maybe for thinking about after the career, what I can explore, what I can do. So it's easy to do. Super good.
Hey, I am Taylor Burnett, and I am a Paralympic swimmer. I started swimming as an able-bodied child when I was 4. My mom is a swim coach, and basically she would bring me and my older sister to practice every day. And when I was in high school, I suffered and acquired my disability. I fractured my L5, herniated 2 discs in my back, and then I also have a large cyst on one of my spinal root nerves. And that really changed my outlook on life as an athlete and a person, and it was very, very difficult for quite a while. I had to decommit from college. I committed to swim at Loyola University, Maryland, and the coach there is amazing. He saw me swim after my injury, and he actually approached me and said, "Have you heard of Paralympic swimming?" And I had no idea it existed. And that's why I love talking about parasports, because like I was an able-bodied swimmer for 13 years and I had no idea that the Paralympics existed. And so then I started doing paraswimming in college, and my career just really took off. I graduated with an interdisciplinary degree in biology and psychology. I started working a traditional job.
I'm coming in from Orlando, Florida. I am a wheelchair tennis player, and my name is Dana Mathewson. So I was 10 and a half years old. I'm a preteen. I don't know if that's even preteen yet, but 10 and a half, right? So if you can think back to when you were 10 and a half or even 11 or 12, you're looking at what all the other girls are wearing at school. You guys all want to have, the same clothes. You want to wear your hair the same way. You want to look the same. Everyone's starting to worry about body image a little bit by that age. And that horrible self-conscious phase starts around that time, and you threw me into a wheelchair and having a disability, and that was just horrible. I mean, I can't think of a more self-conscious time in my life. I'm so lucky that I had such great friends at that time, and everyone just treated me the same. I know this isn't the same experience for everyone, but I didn't experience bullying due to my disability, so I was very lucky in that respect. I think a lot of my bullying was maybe coming from myself, that, I was undesirable, or like no one would want to like me at school now, or, people would treat me different. And so that was really hard. And I think, and I'd be lying to you if I said that wasn't still hard for me. It's a lot less difficult now than it was then, but I like I said, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have those days where I wake up and I hate that I'm not still able-bodied, or I think it's unfair. But I think that's why I clung to sports so much, because sports really showed me how much my body can still do. I was celebrated for what my body was doing, as opposed to seeing my body as something that didn't do stuff anymore. And it was freeing, seeing myself in that light and being good at something physical. I think that's why that was such a huge part of my life, in a way that I never thought that it would be.
Hi, I'm Mansi Joshi. I'm para badminton player from India, and I'm currently going to be representing India at Paralympic Games. We are not just inspirational figures. We are not just here to inspire. We are here to compete. We are here to stay in the sport. Like, I put in the same amount of time and effort in my sport like everyone else, and I just don't want to be called inspirational because I happen to play the sport. I want to be called inspirational because I do it, I make it, I show up every day. That is the reason why I want to be called inspirational, not because of I happen to have a disability. I think media is changing the perception, media is trying to change, I'm happy, but still, not everybody writes about me the way I wish to be written. So what do? I use my own social media to change my own narrative. But then not many people have time to go through your social media accounts, right? So I wish media take more care in portraying us as powerful figures and talked about our journey in much better way rather than just focusing on our disability. I really wish that thing to change.
I'm Charlie Guest. I am 30 years old. I'm an alpine skier on the Great Britain World Cup team. I've been to 2 Olympics and I'm from Scotland. I think that's everything you need to know. There was the Junior World Ski Championships. It was held in France in the Haute-Savoie region. And actually throughout the entire championships, it was pretty cool. There's a newly sort of formed FIS TV, and we had really great access to watch all of the junior races. And they have actually previously been sort of televised and streamed in various platforms. And so it is always a championships that you can pretty much always expect to be able to watch. And so we've been tuning in all week to speed races, team events, everything. And we're getting great footage of these younger athletes competing. In fact, like a few who are in World Cup anyway. So it was just really great to see. And there was commentary. It was really cool to watch. But then we got to the last 2 days and we were watching, then that comes down to the men's slalom and women's slalom and giant slaloms for both. And the first day, it was men's slalom and women's giant slalom, and just men's slalom was broadcast. And we're like, oh, okay, they'll show women's slalom tomorrow, like that'll be fine. And then so the next day we tuned in for women's slalom and there was no feed, but there was a feed for the men's GS. And so yeah, the women, had those opportunities taken away from them. And that part of it all, the fact that it was premeditated and pre-planned to be like that, made me pretty sad.
Yeah, my name is Skylar Espinoza. I'm originally from Freeport, Maine. So I grew up in running. I have a big running family. My aunt is Joan Benoit Samuelson, a big-time marathoner. So influenced by some special people. And I went to college at Columbia University in New York, which is where I found rowing. And then I rowed also at Stanford University in California. Unfortunately, I had to get back surgery at the end of my rowing career, which is kind of how I found cycling during PT, and just loved the sport and how accessible it is and how many people like in community love to ride bikes. I'm still very competitive, so I kind of like worked my way up through cycling, and now my main gig is working as a pilot for a tandem bike with US Paracycling. So I knew that I wanted to do sport at a higher level, even though rowing, the door was closed at that point. I think it was a combination of things. One, I know that cycling is a sport that you don't need to have done since you're a kid, right? Like if I said I wanted to do soccer or lacrosse, it would have been a little harder at that point. And then also the rowing to cycling pipeline is pretty strong. Like I know a lot of rowers who have become cyclists because you already have like the ability to work hard, the endurance, the engine, that kind of thing. And then I also met my boyfriend, who's now my husband at the time, and he is a cyclist and triathlete. And so I think just like being involved with other cyclists at the time, like I said, that community piece kind of like made it something that was very fun. So I think that it kind of was a combination of wanting to do something at a next level and then also finding people at the time who were excited to ride bikes with me. And then I am a tandem pilot, which means I ride on the front of a tandem for athletes with visual disabilities. And in that class, blindness is a spectrum, but anyone who is qualifying in that is in the tandem. That's kind of how that part works. And then, yes, I don't have a disability. I'm an able-bodied athlete, and that has also been an interesting position to be in because all of my other teammates are people who are living and training and racing with disabilities. So having that partnership feel very equal and that you need both people on board has been something that I'm really proud that my tandem partner and I have worked really hard at to make it feel like the project belongs to both of us.
Hi, Jamie. My name is Karin Davies. I am a rower, and I am from Ithaca, New York. I went to 3 Olympic Games, Athens in 2004, Beijing in 2008, London in 2012. My teammates and I were lucky enough to win 3 medals, a silver and 2 golds. And I retired after 2012, thinking, all right, I'm done hanging up my oars, going to become a lawyer. And this Harvard coach, Charlie Butt, is driving by in a launch, and he turns his megaphone towards me and he said, "Hey, Karin, are you training for Tokyo? You should, because you love rowing and rowing loves you." So I went into that year of training. I thought it was going to be a year. It turned out to be 2 because the Olympics was postponed due to COVID, but that's a whole nother thing. And one by one, I went through and I asked everyone, what can I do to be a better teammate to you? And I realized that my fear of not being accepted and my fear of being vulnerable is actually what caused me to not be accepted, because I wasn't open about how much I was struggling. Even though I wasn't going to be racing and potentially winning another gold medal, I had won something more important than a gold medal, which is the respect and the love of my teammates.
So I am Asmanian, an Olympic athlete, Rio, Tokyo. I participated in Rio 2016 and Tokyo 2020 with COVID. My journey is a bit unusual, a bit quirky, because the Olympic dream came to me late. So I am an athlete with long longevity. 41 years old, I love it. I'm always 20. So I know I have long longevity because I always have a child spirit. I always wanted to play and noticed when I was little that in our society, the only adults who really play are high-level athletes. That I have a career that's almost impossible because I started judo at the age of 20, which is very rare, and to be among the world's best. And I think what drove me was seeing adults who play, and I simply started to enjoy playing. I learned judo very, very quickly. And I managed to be in the world top 5 very, very quickly. But I was also a Paris firefighter, but I'll let you translate what's too much here. So, yes. For 10 years, military. I might have started when I was 22 years old. So I spent 10 years as a military Paris firefighter because I simply started judo and had done so many things before, always looking for an Olympic sport. But eventually I joined the firefighters. And I think that kept me fit. I trained a lot because firefighting is a job where you train a lot. And it ended up being my sports academy in reality. I decided to leave, let's say at 30 or 32, the firefighters to pursue my Olympic dream. So actually, my international career only started at 30 when most people stop. Quand les gens ils s'arrêtent.
My name is David. I'm a Paralympic swimmer from the Dominican Republic, getting ready to compete in the Paralympic Games in Paris 2024. So basically, I wake up every day at 5:40 in the morning to go first to my practice, and then from there going to work, and from work going back to the pool or to the gym, depending on the day. And it has been crazy. It's not easy. It's not something sustainable in the long run. That sometimes I'm happy and it was my decision. And I'm just living one day at a time.
Yeah.
we are not recreational sport, that we are like very elite competitive sport. And I think this is the huge one, the biggest one. And the other is I am tired to repeat people that I'm going to the Paralympics. No, the Olympics. This is different, people. Enjoy the game. I think the work is already done. This is the time just to live the moment and to enjoy it, embrace it. Like, I mean, we know that we are here today, but not tomorrow. And I think this is, for me, the most important thing.
Hi, I'm Mansi Joshi. I'm para badminton player from India, and I'm currently going to be representing India at Paralympic Games. We are not just inspirational figures. We are not just here to inspire. We are here to compete. We are here to stay in the sport. Like, I put in the same amount of time and effort in my sport like everyone else. And I just don't want to be called inspirational because I happen to play the sport. I want to be called inspirational because I do it. I make it. I show up every day. That is the reason why I want to be called inspirational, not because of I happen to have a disability. I think media is changing the perception. Media is trying to change. I'm happy, but still, not everybody writes about me the way I wish to be written. So what do? I use my own social media to change my own narrative. But then not many people have time to go through your social media accounts, right? So I wish media take more care in portraying us as powerful figures and talked about our journey in much better way rather than just focusing on our disability. I really wish that thing to change.
If you like what you're hearing, please leave us a positive review on your favorite podcasting platform or YouTube. If you want to see more behind the scenes coverage, follow us on social media. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, X, whatever platform you're on, we're there too. Thanks, and we'll catch you on our next episode.